Kilisha. So we're live, and while we just wait for some time to give some of our viewers some time to log on.
Yes, yes. This week was something else, wasn't it? Yeah. I
Was it
really
for you?
enjoyed. Pardon?
Was it a different week for you?
Oh, yeah. I was making that series, right? Understanding teens, managing conflict with our teenagers on Insta, and I got a real live experience as I was making that series. So everything that I spoke about is teen approved. It is approved by the 18-year-old and the 12-year-old and the inner circle that I have. It's absolutely, you know, ticked and checked by the teenagers. So it's teen approved. There are two
Brilliant,
more parts I'm going to be making for that. Two
lovely,
more.
lovely. So yes, we can see a few joining in, and okay, that's my sister Shirley.
Ah, hi to
Okay.
Shirley too.
Yeah, I think we know our families well now. We just give
Yes,
them. It's a Sunday evening, so you know how it is.
yes,
We'll
yes.
give the others a little more time to hop on. But I must share with you, Lisha, generally, the feedback that came in last time was just amazing. You know, it was so nice. It was so good to see so many households benefiting, so many mums coming back saying that it was lovely for them to hear what you had to say and then to apply it more than hearing, even applying it was something that they really found very, very valuable. So that's brilliant.
I'm so
Yes. So
honored to hear that. So honored to hear that, and so grateful. This is what I love, when we women or parents sit together and share our knowledge. It helps everybody, isn't it? I mean,
true,
I
true.
also took back so much, while I was speaking and listening to myself too. It's a good way to, just remind ourselves of what we know and then apply it again. So every
Exactly.
interaction is so valuable.
So nice. So nice.
Renita is saying hi, no?
Renita, yes. So
Hi,
Renita is
Renita.
also.
Yes.
So I think Lisha, since we knew that we are going to have a close group today, a closer group where the
Yes.
ones who had requested for part two would be joining in. Some of who mentioned that they could not join in. Very. Uh, that's my daughter Megan saying hi. Okay,
Oh,
so
a special hi to her.
yes. So since some said that they will catch up on the recording, how about we remind of the ones who've already joined in? Let's begin.
Oh, yes. Today's session is going to be something else.
Yes, looking forward to it. So yes, definitely, Lisha, we want to begin and end today with gratitude because, as I said last week, 2 weeks ago, when we got online, the feedback that came in was simply lovely. Okay, and yes, let's not waste any more time and begin. So, good evening and welcome to Natalie Inspires You and by popular demand. Happy to bring to you part two of our talk on positive parenting. And uh, thank you for seeing, the good that Lisha and I are doing that you asked for part two. We're happy to bring it to you. Okay. So, for those of you who joined last time, I think Lisha and I really don't need an introduction. I'm Natalie Fernandez Mota, and to know more about me and my work, you can log on to natalieinspires.com. And to know more about Lisha, please, I would request you to go back to part one and listen to her introduction. And hi, Shiloh, welcome to the show. We're happy to have you here again. So I'm honored today to really bring to you part two and to bring to my platform Lisha S. Menon, a life skills life coach, and she's joining all of us from Kerala, India, while I come to you from Malaysia. Okay, and Lisha gave us a session last time that we could practically apply to our family, okay, apply to what our kids were going through. And to very briefly just sum up what she brought to us, she brought to us looking at life objectively so that we can understand where the triggers come from. She brought to us the mixed bag concept, that is to accept our current situation and to accept and change things for ourselves, and which helps us to invariably understand our children, understand their strengths, their weaknesses, and ours. External validation is what she touched upon, and also encouraging us to allow children to take initiatives rather than just follow, and much, much more. But today, we will be addressing some very important and, day to day topics like importance of us being shock absorbers for our kids, SETA, decision making and how to respond instead of reacting, and practical tips and suggestions on how to practice positive parenting. Okay, so over to you, Lisha. The platform is all yours. Let me not waste any more time. Once again, welcome to Naturally Inspires You.
Thank you so much for inviting me again. And whenever you speak, Natalie, I'm just so absorbed with whatever you're saying. It's amazing. Though you said everything that we did last show, it's amazing to hear it from you. And there's such a lovely flow in what you say and how you say it. So yeah,
Thank
my sister's there, Lekha. She's like
Oh,
best friend. And
okay,
I'm
lovely.
waiting for my bestie to join too. Otherwise, she'll have to hear from me. So, okay. So, you know what, Natalie? What I really feel is that when we were growing up and the rapport we had with our parents, our childhood, if you look at it, it was very clear. Parents, with their experience and age and authority, they would give us commands or guide us, and we would obey. It was very clear. The structure was very clear back then. And what happened is that 2 days back, my aunt and my cousin came over, and we spent around 3 hours just sitting and chatting. And then I realized that I've had so many such interactions as a child. This was my Google and this was my YouTube. When aunties and uncles would come over, friends would come over, we would sit till 2 or 3 in the night and just share experiences. That was our Google. But if I try to sit with teenagers today and say anything that I have in mind, at the touch of a button, they can go on Google and check facts, they can rectify me, they can help me understand things better. So now, because of information at their fingertips, they also want to be a part of everything. And now what I see is that there is a shift in balance all the time between a parent and a child when it comes to power, when it comes to authority, when it comes to love, knowledge, anything. There's always this balance that is shifting between a parent and a child. And the struggle, I think, as parents we have is that on one hand we are supposed to hold ourselves steady so that our children can grow, and we nurture them. We have to stay steady for that. And on the other hand, we have to be flexible, accommodate things that are so new to us, and then support them with whatever they need. And I think from one extreme to the other, a parent is getting pulled, and there is so much of confusion because our world was so different from their world. So this information at the fingertips, the social media, the exposure they have is constantly shifting this balance. You also know we are the only generation who obeyed our parents, and and now we are ready to obey our children too. So, so this is the dynamic that has changed. This is why parenting has become so challenging right now. You know, so I guess we all need some skills to cope with this, isn't it? Do you want me to? So should we just, go into the
Yes,
first
in fact,
topic that we were talking about?
please. Looking forward to what do you have to share with us on why is it important for us to be shock absorbers for our kids?
Yes. So for this, now the way I would like to start is I really want to give you the true picture. First, I'd like to say thank you to my eldest sister. She's my bestie, right? My best friend, Juhi. And then a network of ladies, strong ladies, parents, relatives, everybody, my cousins, all of this, and my partner too, my husband. But usually I do not speak about partners because many families are, managing maybe just a single parent or something. That's why I never speak about the partner dynamic here, because if you have somebody steady with you, that's awesome. But just because you don't have that doesn't mean that you can't cope. It just means that the chemistry of your family is different, that's all. you know so this close group that I have and my colleagues and friends becomes a network for me. I am depending on this network to build a structure for my life. And on top of that, my children, they are hoping they are building their structure on top of this. But if I can't call this a stone wall foundation. No, it's a network of people. And guess, it's like a mesh. There is so much pain going through this network. There is pain and there is joy. My sister's pain can affect me. My mother's pain affects me. My pain affects them. My joy affects them. I mean, we are so fragile in this network. A word from you today, right now, can build my life, can break me. We are so vulnerable to each other. And in this network, I would like you to first check what is the nature of your relationship with your close people, because it's definitely affecting you. Their pain must be rushing into your life. How are you able to process it? If you are unsteady, then your children who are building a platform, their network on your network, it's shaky for them. So it's so important for us to know how to process this pain that comes from this network, the joy that comes from this network. If we are steady, then our children get a steady platform to build their systems. So if we are shaky, then they are shaky. So I would urge every parent to check the network, and that is why I say that we have to become the shock absorbers for our children. We must know how to process this pain, we must know how to process the joy, so that we are steady and our children can build a different network on this mesh that we provide, the foundation. Another thing I feel is whenever somebody comes to me for counseling, I make it very clear that your when you change your behavior towards your child, give them time to adjust to it. It may take a month, it may take 3 months. They are going to test you first. Are you going to stay steady with the change? If you shake again, remember they have to make a new foundation again. Their patterns are breaking them. They have to make a new pattern. So it's so important to stay steady. They will test you, then they will trust you. So stay ready for the test first, because they're going to say, hey, mom has changed, dad has changed, what's happening now? What are they really planning? So they will test us with the changes. Then only will they trust us. And then when we stay steady and we absorb the shock that comes from our network, as young children, they will be able to, build a new network that works for them, new patterns. So that's the thing about being shock absorbers, for them.
So true, very true, Alicia. When we are living in a community, we're living in an environment where we're constantly absorbing from the ones around us. But sometimes it's not very easy to really create
Yeah.
those boundaries and really absorb those shocks
You
before
know,
it goes out to our
yeah,
children.
just to add, this is the reason why they say that if you want happy children, then you treat your partner right. Because in the social media, they will show you that a smile is contagious, happiness multiplying. You smile at somebody and they smile at somebody. Now, this is beautiful. They show you what they want you to do. What they don't talk about is that stress also passes on like this only. And then they don't want to show you that, it's a fact. And during one of my courses with Dr. Bharat Chandra, the winners program in the late 1990s, he spoke about something called as cutting the chain. So the way happiness passes through this network, shock also passes through, pain also passes through. And the thing about stress is that it goes down the ladder, down the authority. So if the mother is stressed, the child is going to be stressed too, because it passes, stress goes down. So you have to be the one who cuts the chain, means you take the impact and you say, this stress ends with me, this pattern in my family ends with me, it won't go down to my children. I'm here. So you are the shock absorber. So cutting the chain, I mean, I was so impressed with that concept that I heard. at a very young age in 1998 or something, late 90s. So cut the chain there, but it takes a lot, to process that,
Exactly.
So,
Cutting the chain is something that we moms have to do all the time, but I think it's a journey and it's work in progress. But perhaps if we could identify what helps us to calm down and what helps us to cut that chain and work on that, maybe we can be better shock absorbers for our kids then.
yeah, practice,
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 right? Yes,
practice.
yes. Continuously practice. So yeah, so welcome to all to the rest who've joined in. So brilliant, Lisha. Moving on. Thank you. I think that shock absorber has definitely struck a chord in the hearts of most or nearly all the moms joining here
Thank
today.
you.
Okay.
Thank you.
And
Yes.
yes, Shirley says so true. Build shock absorbers for our kids to build on. So nice. So true. Yes. Yeah, moving on to the next one. Now, this one is something that I personally haven't heard of at all. So,
Yeah.
looking forward to hear. What is SETA, where you say our decision making process on how to respond instead of react to our children?
I am so happy to share it here because this is a concept that I made. And this is the decision making process we have in our system. It's called setup. What sets you off? Setup, what sets you off? So S stands for situation, E stands for emotions, T stands for thoughts, and A stands for action. All right. So the way for before I introduce this, you must know that we have three components working inside us. The mind that only knows to multiply. Sitting here, if I hear a good news in 3 minutes, I can plan a wedding. Here, right now, 3 minutes, I can plan a wedding. One disappointment, an untrained mind, if I'm not trained enough, I can plan my funeral too. The mind only knows to multiply. So you make sure that it works for you. That's the point of giving a positive picture. This is why we work with affirmation so that you have it in front of your eyes. You're giving the mind a message that this is what I want. Work for me, not against me. Work for me. And this takes training. You have to train your mind to reach that level because the mind does not like a no. It absolutely does not understand a no. It's very stubborn. So important that this powerful element should work in our favor. So important that everybody, I think, at a school level should know how to, manage themselves, manage their mind. The other thing the mind does and is very good at is giving you solutions to the situations you're having in your life. The mind is only churning out options for you. So your thoughts are nothing but solutions the mind is churning out to end the situation. Mind does not like pain. So the three things to remember about the mind, which is very important, it does not understand a no. It only multiplies. You give it good, it will multiply. You give it bad, it will multiply. Right? And the third thing is it's only giving you options to deal with your situation. So that's the nature of the mind. The body, the nervous system, there is a constant wiring that is happening in your nervous system. There are patterns being made all the time. So in NLP, we call this firing and wiring. There is a trigger and then there is a wiring. We must get familiar with these terms, because this is all happening inside us. And then the third component, what we call, so all your addictions and patterns are set in the body level. That is why it's so difficult. Body is very stubborn by nature. You try getting up at 4 o'clock. If you're used to getting up at 7 and one day you try to get up at 4, it's so difficult because the body is fallen into a pattern. And most people struggle there with that. The third component, you can call it the heart, you can call it the soul, which only knows to feel. Emotions are triggered. Emotions are triggered. So when I say I get angry, it's a trigger. So very rarely can I do anything about getting angry. But staying angry is a decision. Getting angry may not be in my hand right now because I'm getting triggered. Staying angry becomes a decision. So now that you understand that the heart or the soul only feels and emotions are triggered, the body falls into patterns and the mind only knows to multiply. Now I introduce this setter to you. Okay. So when a human faces a situation, any daily event in their life, The situation triggers an emotion first. So when I see my husband, I feel love first. I feel love. And then because I'm feeling love, my mind immediately gives me options. Should I call out to him if he's far away? Should I go hug him? Should I hold his hand? These are the thoughts that come up at that point in time. The mind and the body are very closely related. Before I know it, my body has already put it into action. I might call him out and I might hug him or I might hold his hand. The mind and the body are very closely connected. So if you think ugly, you will only see ugly in the mirror. And this is something that I came across, I think, a year back, and I loved it. That your eyes, it's not that your eyes are seeing things, it's your mind is seeing things through your eyes. So, whatever the filter is here in the mind. So, situation triggers an emotion, emotion creates thoughts. Thoughts initiate action, and the body responds. And every action has a repercussion and changes the situation. This is the decision making in process that is going on inside us. This is how a good situation becomes bad, a bad situation becomes worse, or a worse situation could get better because of this cycle that is going on inside us. Now, what happens with emotions and thoughts? For most people, it's a big clump. They don't know if they're feeling something or it's a thought. They're getting angry, they want to punch somebody. Now, this emotion and thought is a big clump, if they have not spent time with themselves, they don't know how to manage their nervous system, the system set, the pattern set in the body. They don't know how to manage it. You will find these people facing a situation and simply acting. Situation and action, the emotion and thought is all clumped up together. There is no separation. So, my husband is sending a heart.
See, the connection went through all the way to all those joining in. This is Lisha's husband, Sukhdev Menon, and the connection went all the way online.
Thank you. So, now coming back to it, so most people are simply reacting to a situation. They do not understand if this is an emotion because emotions do fade. You have to, if you go back to the first session, we spoke about the teaspoon and the tablespoon. So
Yes.
emotions do fade. We must not react to that. Hold it, wait for it. No need to even react to your thoughts. Good, healthy emotions will give you healthy options. All right. And then only action comes. So most people are only reacting every time in a situation. We must slow the nervous system down to be able to understand. You feel your thoughts, your body reacts to the thoughts through the body, and you feel emotions also through the body. You feel angry, your breathing pattern changes. These are all signs you can pick up if you're very tuned into the body. But what happens with children? Let's just come to children now. We only see the action and then we react on the action. I want us to stop doing that. I want us to become curious, about what were they thinking, and in a good way. Because when we get upset with them, we say, "What were you thinking?" Not in that way. Why can't we be curious? What really were they thinking? What were they thinking? Now catch on to that thought. I don't care what they have done. They may have gotten into addictions. They must be peer pressure for all you know. They must have tried something new. They got themselves into trouble. I don't care what they got into. Get curious about what were they thinking. And from that thinking, I would like you to catch on to the emotion. What were they feeling? What were they feeling? Was the child insecure? Was the child struggling with peer pressure? Is the child having an identity crisis? Is the child experiencing frustration? I mean, these are different words we have and we rarely use it. We only say anger, anger. No. So, was the child angry? Is there repressed anger? Now, help the child express this. Because what happens is, over a period of time, even we adults, we go through this cycle and we do not know how to express our emotions and we crash. Set systems are not working, our patterns are not working for us. We go to a counselor, we go to a psychologist. You sit there and you go back to all the memories that you're carrying in your head, and she will ask you, "So, how did that make you feel? So, how did that make you feel?" Why are we repressing our emotions? All we need to do is hold space for the child to cry in front of us. Cry in front of me. I am here for you. I will cry with you. You are in pain. It's hurting me. What do? We tell them stop crying. The nervous system's trigger is to cry and we shut them down because this is something that we learned. If you have ever shut your child down when they are crying, they feel rejected, they feel ugly. Let's be honest here. This is the gray area. They feel ugly. Now, the message that is going to them is I like you only in your good times. You come to me when you're feeling positive. This child will shy away and will never come to you with your problems. But when they are crying, they should cry in front of you, not out there, Not don't let them cry. Let them home should be a place where they sit, they vent it out, and they just tell you, Mom, this is difficult for me. And let them express themselves. This is what we need to give them the space and not judge them for that. How can you cry? My goodness, please let them cry. Let the pain in the network be expressed somewhere. Let it out. Tears are very good. Why do we shut them down? And when we shut them down, they will never come to you with your problems. Why would they come to you? You made them feel ugly. And they will only come to you with good things. Why? External validation. Good girl, good boy. So give them the space to express themselves. Go back, from action, go to thoughts. Get curious. And then go to emotions. And I'd just like to add one more thing. Their world is just like our world, but it is a smaller version of it because we are their world. The adults around them are their world, and it's so controlled. So their world also has gossip, high school and middle school. My goodness. Children are simply surviving, in school. It's brutal. They are very bad to each other. They are so cruel to each other. So, you know how bad it is. They go through gossip, they have politics in their system. We have gossip, we have politics. It's the same system, it's just a smaller world. So, we can't tell them that their pain is lesser than ours because they have a few more toys. That's silly. The pain is real, the pain is the same. Our bosses are troubling us. We have a system where the teachers and trainers around may not have the time or the patience to be with them, deal with them, or listen to them. So the world is smaller, but the system is the same. The pain is the same. We must all learn and even teach them to process their emotion. Let's sit with each other. Let's connect in a bad time. What's the harm in that? We're all humans, aren't we? It's okay to have a bad day. Yeah? It's really okay. Children nowadays find it easier to quit life than to live life. That is the state right now. It's so toxic. So toxic. They have no place to be. What is the danger of that, Nats? They're going to go to their friends, a group of 18-year-olds who hardly know anything, and they share their knowledge. Aren't they going to get into trouble? Why not give them a safe space? I like the fact that my daughter got into trouble somewhere, my younger one. She got into trouble and she was waiting for them to call me. She said that, Mom, I was waiting for them to call you, then you will understand. Because she gets it that I get it, I understand. So in my house, when children get into trouble, I say, thank God it happened today. So let me help you. Thank God it happened today. Let me help you. Yeah. So this is the way. So now a mistake is fine. I mean, I love them on a good day and I love them more on a bad day. Because this is the rapport I have.
Brilliant, Lisha. This is good.
Thank them for making a mistake, yeah. Because children nowadays, we expect so much perfection from them that they don't want to try new things because we are expecting perfection from them. There is no room for making mistakes. So in my house, I'm like, so they'll come and say, Mom, I did something. And I'm like, tell me, let's solve this. And I ask them, do you want me to listen to it? Or, because they have a space where they are expressing their ideas. The focus is on solution now, not on why did you do this? Why did you do this? It's like now that this is done, how do we solve it? How do you solve it? Let's get to that solution. Why are we feeling cheated? We have made mistakes. They are making mistakes. Thank God we are around them for them here. More than our parents were there for us sometimes. We are there for our children. Why not? Yeah, let's let them come to us now. As I say, because I know many girls who get into horrible chat sessions and stuff, and they get into trouble with men or boys or whatever, and they can't come back home and ask for help. You
True.
know, why give them, why leave that room for a stranger to come in and take advantage of our children? Your trust should be so strong that somebody says, I'm going to tell your mother. I say, wait, I will dial the number for you. I will dial the number for you. How about that? Let's do
Oh,
that.
that's amazing. In fact, such a perfect wrap up to your seta, where they say that home is where they should express, let them cry. So
Let them.
true. So, just for those who are joining in, we are on topic two, which is seta, and where Lisha talks about situation, emotions, thoughts, and actions, and where she reminds us as parents to stop and go back to the emotion and
Yes.
don't reprimand them just for the action. Go and understand the emotion that the child is facing and allow them to cry. Oh, Lisha, I can tell you that you're just moving within the hearts of all the moms joining. We are
Oh, thank you so
connecting with
much.
what you're saying. We're appreciating what you're saying, but most importantly, we're taking in what you're saying so that we can go and make a change and make our homes a better place for our children. So truly, again, thank you, my dear. Let's move on to the third one, which we are all really, really waiting for, where
Yes.
you have said that you're going to give us some practical tips and suggestions on how to really practice positive parenting in our everyday life. How
Yes.
to actually the how to is what all of us are looking out for.
I will with explanation because I'm such a teacher, at heart, with explanation because we should know what we are doing and why we are doing it.
Of course,
So
of
one of the
course.
first things I want to tell you about this, I'm going to give you three pointers today. The first one is when a child is born, what do we usually do? We pick up the child and we hold the child. So physical touch becomes very, very, very important in a child's life. Over a period of time we lose this. Their hugs become shorter because somebody is in a rush. Either we are in a rush or they are in a rush. The hugs become shorter and then non-existent. There are many parents who refuse to give hugs or feel that it is fake or feel rushed. Now there's another reason for that, because once a mother becomes a mother and then she starts taking care of so many responsibilities, most people come to her for peace. Most people come to her for comfort, but she is stressed. She is so stressed out. So in my house, we give hugs to each other, but anybody coming to hug me, I ask them first, you're giving comfort or you're taking comfort? Please, because there is a time for that. Because if I'm so stressed, then I'm not able to give a hug at that moment. I will come back. I will give you that hug, but just wait. We as mothers, we are all the time giving in a giving mode. So sometimes I ask and I question, maybe I don't have the space in my mind, to give them a hug at that moment. But this physical touch, we kind of lose touch with it, and our children are starving for that. They are starving because we got them used to it when they were growing up. The second thing we got them used to is verbal affirmations. We were kuchikuing them when we go. I mean, that's the word I'm going to use. We were like all the time singing to them or saying, good girl, oh, I love you, you're so cute. Everybody comes together and praises the child. Verbal affirmations. We stop saying, I'm so proud of you. I love you so much. You matter to me. I mean, these are things that children should know. Why should they take it for granted? You tell them that because what happens is over a period of time, parents start giving instructions in the name of guidance. And every time I see my daughter, I might be telling her, you know what, Ananya, maybe have you touched your books lately? Have you done this? So every time I see her, what she hears is just me giving instructions or giving her some advice or something. Where is the verbal affirmation that I love her? I love you. You're looking so pretty. You mean you're so pretty to me. Now, this is another thing. Whenever I'm giving them any compliment, I tell them that you are important to me. Do not expect that from the outside, please. There are many children who think that, this mummy loves me like this, so everybody outside should also treat me like that. No, you're my princess. My princess. Don't expect this from outside. So, this is again putting a very firm boundary on family and strangers. Okay, So, a child who has received physical hugs, a child who has received verbal affirmations from the parents, a stranger comes in and then gives them a physical touch. Guess what happens? They know what a safe touch feels like. They have hugged their parents. They know what a safe hug feels like. They will have the sense to come back and tell you, Mom, I didn't find that touch right, Or they will move out of that and they will have the freedom to come and tell you, Mommy, I didn't feel safe at that time. You know? You know what I'm saying? So let them know what is comfortable so they know what is uncomfortable. That's the first thing. Second thing, now a stranger comes in, or young boys and girls come and talk about love, the love that they have. They crash into love, don't they? I love you. A child who is comfortable and confident will say that this sounds familiar. I've heard this a lot at home. Now let me check your actions. Now let me check your actions. Our children are starving for this touch from us. They may not know they need it themselves because there is a lot of ego fights that children get into with their mothers, with their parents. So they themselves don't know what they want, what they need. But so I made it a rule in my house that when I felt that my teen and I, we were not connecting, my eldest one, I made it a point that everybody in the morning, please come to the kitchen and you are going to give me a hug. I demand a hug. This is it. So that they feel connected because sometimes they're not feeling worthy because they're churning out so much stuff inside their heads. Most of it is unnecessary, we know, but it's a process they're going through. Growing up is a process. There is pain in it. That is why we say growth pain. There is discomfort in it. So, this hug is I demand it along with the yeah, there are a few rules in the house, yeah. so so like that. Oh, somebody's saying something.
Yes. So
Okay,
Gretchen says, Alicia, you need to get out a book soon. Keep that in mind, okay?
we'll do that. So get our children used to this hug and the verbal affirmation. Please do not. I'm not even going to talk about the visual aspect of this because they are into animes and games and all that. And me, no matter how broad-minded I've been now and how accepting I've been, there are times I just can't understand what they're watching. So that connection is very randomly possible. They're into animes where there's a lot of slashing and slaying and blood, and I've tried. So I know what's happening. I'm connected. But so let's leave the visual alone if you can't take it, but at least do this much, the physical touch and the verbal affirmations. Let them know that they are pretty to you. Let them know that you're proud of them. Why should they guess? Why should they be confused? So that's the first thing. Okay. The second thing I want to tell you is, yeah, music. We sing nursery rhymes to them when they are small. We sing with them. And later on, what happens? They have a separate section of music. We have a separate section of music. So again, this is a rule in my house that whenever we are listening to music, we play one song from our collection, from each one of us. I have two daughters, no? So we listen to each one of their music and nobody is allowed to judge. And trust me, Nats, they have a clean version of every song that they like. Trust me. A clean version. Because most of the songs we can't, they can't even play it in front of us, but there is a clean version, available on the net and they will play it for you. So now you are a part of their world. You used to connect with them before. Why did you stop it now? Let's not judge their music. You will be surprised, Nats, that many songs that they're listening to have motivational lyrics. So motivating. We don't listen to it because there are words. The way they express those words are different. But check the clean version. I'm telling you, some of the songs are absolutely amazing. It's all about accepting yourself. So in NLP, we say that we perceive our world through five senses: the kinesthetic, the sense of touch, the visual, and the audio. So we call it a VAK. What happens is over a period of time, our worlds become so different. We are not a part of each other's VAK. The visual, the audio, the kinesthetic, everything becomes different. Everything becomes separate. Why can't we be a part of it? K-pop is very in right now, isn't it? K-pop is in right now. How many of us has made the effort of just sitting and understanding that music? If you check the lyrics, it's very motivating. Of course, it's a pleasure to watch them. That's another thing. But why not be a part of it? We say, oh no, but then you don't know what's happening in your child's life, and don't underestimate the the what they are absorbing from the world through this visual, audio, and this kinesthetic thing. They're perceiving words, they're perceiving the world in a specific way. So why should you not know what's happening in that world? Be a part of it. It's fun, I'm telling you, it's light. Keep it light, be a part of it. Let's not become so old that their world is different and our world is different. Many children take a lot of time, to get dressed in the morning because their world and our world is so different that you don't know. They take a lot of time to prepare themselves and then they come to face us. So when somebody tells me that their child is all the time listening to music, even when they're sitting with the family, I know that the child is disconnected. There is no seamlessness there. The child is not able to flow into our world. Why can't we build a bridge? Starts with us, no? So start. I'm telling you, and it's very pleasant to watch too. So why not, join them? Children are built for the future. You can't stop them from growing. Match the pace. The pace is very fast, but at least know what's happening, or we will be left behind here, or we will worse, we will drag them down. Why judge them? Be a part of that world through music. Listen to the music and don't judge. I'm telling you, don't judge because if you judge, it's over. It's over. So that's the second thing. And the third thing, I hope it's not okay. I'm going to continue, right?
No, please do. We'll sum up after you share the
This is
third
the
point. Sum up.
this is the last point I want to give you. A child is always copying us or coping with us, just like we do. If we go to a social event, okay, or we go for a funeral or a wedding, and we are unfamiliar with the place, we hold ourselves back and we watch what others are doing. Then we follow whatever is being done. The same process. I'm telling you, the children's world is smaller, the system is the same. They are watching us. They are either copying us or coping with what we are doing. If it's too much for them, then they are coping with it. First, they see us do things. First, they see us doing things. Then we do it for them when they are young. Then we train them to do it for themselves. Why we are training our children to wipe the table or keep things clean? So that it becomes a part of their muscle memory, so that it becomes familiar to them, so that they become independent. There is a reason why we make them do things, so that they're independent. It stays in the muscle memory. Fine. After a point, Nats, they are the ones doing it for us. Check where are you in that cycle. Which cycle are you in? Are they copying you right now? Are they watching you do it? Or are you doing something for them? Make it age appropriate. I really do not like mothers doing everything for their children because you're insulting their intelligence. They have so much potential of being such responsible people. Give them the space to make mistakes and let them have their own routine and responsibilities. Because if they are living together with friends, they would anyway do it. Let them start with their parents only, be friendly then. So let them have their own routine. Let them have a sense of doing something as a team. I know many mothers who don't have the patience, so they do everything for the child. And then the child does not know anything. But what is happening is the child is not feeling as a part of the team. The child is a part of the team, a family is a team. So they should have their own responsibilities. So check if you that you're not doing everything for them. Give them the space to do things even if it doesn't match our expectation. Leave it alone, let it be. We are training them for the future. Then check if they are doing stuff by themselves. This is the time, it's time to take a step back. Many of us do not know how to stop or when to stop. This is the time the balance is shifting. The balance of authority, the balance of power is shifting. They're old enough to do things for themselves. Take a step back. Stop encroaching on their space. And this is something I told my daughter when she was very small, that if a seed falls very close to the mother tree, the child and the mother will be fighting for the root space. The seed will never get a chance to grow completely. Now, if there is this little distance between the mother tree and the seed, the mother also stays is flourishing and the child also has space to grow. Why are we, not giving them space? We are encroaching them. They're fighting with us. They're fighting with their roots. They have to grow. They are built for the future. They are seeds. They have to grow. We can't stop that process. So give them space to bloom. Give that space. Take a step back. Let them do it. There will be a time they'll be doing it for us because that's the next thing, isn't it, Nat?
Yes,
So
that
you know,
cycle will end. Yeah, true.
check that cycle where you are, and teach and train them with empathy. Most mothers and parents want their children to be smart and achievers. You're teaching a child to be competitive, but when the cycle reaches the point where we are the ones who need to depend on them, doesn't matter how far away they are, there will be a point where we will depend on them. You will want your child to have empathy for you. So why not train them right now? IQ is long gone now, Nats. It's more about EQ. It's not IQ anymore. It's EQ, intelligence, emotional quotient. It's more about empathy. It's more about being kind. This now is considered as the highest form of intelligence, not your marks, you know,
Yes.
marks. And I tell this to children when I go for life skill sessions. I actually tell the children that your certificate should help you to get into a university and open doors for you. But once you're inside, it's your personality, it's your manners that will take you through to the next level. So, certificate is important to open doors. So, you know where you want to go and you achieve it. It will open doors for you. But once you're in, then your manners speak for you. Where is the certificate then, Nats? It's in a drawer somewhere in an HR corner, isn't it? In an HR department, it's just in a drawer. Yeah. So let it open the doors for you. And I used to actually make fun of my daughter, the elder one. In my house, EQ is more important. Manners are important. It's little sad that they've not been able to impress me just with marks. If they have put in efforts and they have got whatever they have got, I'm okay with it because they made an effort. Why are we forcing our children to be perfect in everything? There is no need. Why can't we be a team where we help each other with our strengths and support each other's weaknesses? We are such good team members, with office. In office, we are amazing team members. In school or in college, we must have done a lot of projects. But when it comes to home space, we have egos in place. Why? Why can't we be team members at home? Yeah. What is the ego? Anyway, in the cycle, they depend on us and then we depend on them. You will wish your child was a team member at that time. Many mothers have, nurtured the children to be smart and competitive. And then when these children grow up, it's really like they get bitten by their own children. And then I'm telling you, I have seen parents find it easier to depend on other people than their own children. Why should we do that? Why? Teach them empathy right now. Let's put things in the right perspective. Education is a part of life, but empathy goes everywhere. It will take you a long way. So, yeah. So that's that. Those are the
Oh,
specific points from me.
but Lisha, you have left us speechless. These
Yeah.
three simple, practical tips that honestly I'm quite sure many of us have forgotten. Something so simple of just reaching out to give our children a hug or telling them how much we love them.
Yes.
To giving the reminders and importance of EQ when the world is running behind IQ today. Such
Yeah.
simple things, listening to their music. Oh my gosh, that's a big one for me, and I have to really work in that area. But I'm going to
Yeah.
get there sometime soon,
You
Lisha.
know how that works, Nat? First, I mean, my daughters are listening, so I think this is not going to work for me now. But the fact is that once we listen to their music, whatever music that they play, just imagine one day when they're listening to music, they're thinking of you. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to make mom listen to this." Wow, isn't that amazing? Can you imagine
Absolutely.
how very nicely we have now, safeguard our children? Now, because mom is also listening, dad's also a part of this. Yeah, someday she will just play the music for me. So now I'm in her thoughts, even when, isn't that a nice way of, keeping them close, safe? Yeah, just be a part of their life. We have to move on. We try to pull them back. No, listen to me. No, I'm asking the adults, I'm asking you guys to join into their world. It's fun. They are not competitive. Gen Z is not competitive. It's us. We were not given the right skills, or the support when we were growing up. It was very harsh for us. We have just unconsciously passed it on to them. But it's time to, just time to
It's time to
rework.
absolutely. And thank you for reminding us for all that we need to change, Lisha. Today was such a power-packed session. What you've shared with us seems so simple, but something that was much needed, to be
Thank you.
heard again, to be heard again. And before we come back to that power statement, I'll always like to end with a power statement from you and me. Before we come back to that power statement, I would really, really like to take time out to to bring in gratitude today. Really, from the bottom of my heart, Lisha, thank you so much. You gave your time, your expertise, which not
Oh,
many people are willing to do for the
oh
benefit
no,
of
no,
the
no.
community. No, it is true. In all my 5 years of working online and offline, it's not something that comes out easily. So grateful. I'm sure the moms joining in today, those who have already expressed and the ones today will join me in sending you a big virtual hug and a
Thank you
lot
so
of our
much.
prayers and blessings for the timely tips you gave us that will help to bring great breakthroughs in our household. But I'd also like to take a moment to say a big thank you to your dear husband because without his support, I think
Oh
all of
yeah.
us know without their support, we cannot do our work and we cannot do our work well. To your two lovely daughters, for whatever, whether it was makeup or lighting or just giving you that extra nudge, come on, mama, get ready for the show. Thank you to both of them. But I'd also like to say a very, very special thank you to your mom. Okay,
Thank you.
is your mom watching today, Auntie Rima?
Yes,
Yes.
yes,
If
yes.
Auntie Rima is watching today, Auntie Rima, I'd like to tell you, on behalf of everyone watching here today, a big thank you to you because you have trained Leisha all her life, and today what she is, she must, and I'm sure, give credit to you. So thank you, Auntie Rima, and Leisha has a little message for you. And Leisha would like to tell you that she admires you for her grit, for your grit, and for your love for life. And that we can see in you, Leisha. So,
Thank
Auntie,
you.
much love to you from all of us and also from Leisha with that special message. And thank you to everybody for joining in. Please follow Leisha on Instagram because she also came up with a series of videos for teenagers after our first show. So all of it is on Instagram. Do have a look, and there's much you can take back. And to Lekha Nair, who is Leisha's sister, thank you for the support that you give her, be it technical or be it just giving her that little encouragement. As Leisha says, you know, you guys are her team, so keep going because then Leisha can keep going and she has much to offer to this world. Okay, and yes, do follow Leisha on Instagram at Leisha S. Menon. You can follow me and Naturally Inspires You, and together we can build a better world, right, Leisha? But
Yes,
before we
yes.
say bye and good night to everybody, what is your power statement? One line for us before we go.
The power statement will be that um, we are handling a generation that has seen so much of technical growth. Let not that, affect us. The children are still human, just like us. Their world is smaller, but the system is the same. I want you to remember that. They feel pain the way we do. Just because they have a few toys does not mean the pain is not the same. They are handling politics, they are handling gossip, the structure is the same and it's very toxic to them too. Remember that. And another thing, forget everything that I spoke about, even if you do, just stay rooted in compassion. Just stay rooted in compassion and let them just come to you. Let them come back. They are still the small kids who just come and say, "Where's mom?" Or where's dad? I need to tell this to mom. I need to tell this to dad. Let that wrap up be the same. Many parents themselves are not clear about the kind of relationship they want with their children. For me, in my house, I want them to be best friends. Like the way I hang out with my college friends is the way I hang out with my children. It's the same rapport. So I don't get offended when they say something. Because if your best friend is behaving, then there's something wrong, isn't it? So let there be a lot of laughter, let there be a lot of joy. If a child is not happy and laughing with you, you're wasting their time. Let your house be full of laughter because they're anyway copying us or coping with us. So they're anyway learning. So let the house always be full of laughter. make fun of your troubles, like leave them all behind and just stay together, recharge, reset, work as a team. Yeah, we are kinder to strangers than to our own family. I don't like that. Let's be kind to everybody now. Let's be kind to everybody. Empathy there. So that's my message.
Thank
In
you.
this
So there was so
note.
much of positivity, love, compassion, joy, laughter. Make your home what you would like to be in. So, Alicia, that was so beautiful. Thank you for that power
Thank
statement.
you.
And I'd like to leave on this note something for all of you all to think about. It's words from the Bible, from Proverbs 22:6, where it says, "Train up children in the way they should go, and when they grow old, they will not depart from it." So, on that note, and with lots of love from Leisha and me, we say good night and wish all of you happy parenting.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you. Good night.